Conference of Parties, COP30 ends with global climate agenda setting $1 trillion investment for power grids and energy storage. Nigerian Navy improves safety protocols, tackles challenges of piracy and maritime insecurity in nation's territorial waters. Family and primary care cross-fertilize innovative ideas on improving comprehensive care for individuals and families. Hello and welcome to the News Desk at 3 on Antennas 24, live from Abuja. I am Mina Daniels. Conference of Parties COP30 ends in Belém, Brazil, with a global climate agenda that sets out a $1 trillion investment pipeline for power grids and energy storage and a commitment to quadruple sustainable fuels by 2035, with developing countries now leading the push for industrial decarbonization. Charles Alpha reports on the key resolutions adopted at COP30.
COP29 and COP30 presidencies, together with the climate high-level champions, worked hand in hand to deliver a COP30 focused on implementation. Over the past 2 weeks, the conference highlighted how climate action is accelerating across key systems, from energy and transport to food and health, and from industry and finance to land, ocean, and education, with clear benefits for people and nature.
We have to be humble enough and realistic enough to know there are still many things to be done. We're almost there, but we have to do much more.
Real-world climate actions, including a $1 trillion investment pipeline for clean energy and a global plan to quadruple sustainable fuels, stood out among the key outcomes. National climate plans are being updated with a sharp focus on raising ambition, scaling up climate action, and facing down fossil fuels.
With countries like Nigeria against the tax on fossil fuel, there is now no mention of it or a phase-out roadmap. This is because a revised draft removed all language on transitioning away from coal, gas, and oil. And this is against the global stocktake back in Dubai, where a commitment to shift away from fossil fuels to renewable energy was made.
As Nigeria and as an oil-producing nation, because we feel that will hamper both social as well as economical development of our country, so we stood against it.
Adaptation finance is expected to triple by 2025, responding to growing needs for funding to protect communities from climate impacts. The conference reinforced the need for measurable results for people, economies, and the planet, with a commitment to practical solutions that cut emissions and build resilience. These outcomes underline the continued global efforts to tackle climate change and strengthen international cooperation. In Belém, Brazil, Charles Alpha, NTA News.
Nigeria and the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia are exploring areas of collaboration that will attract investment in clean energy as the world adopts Energy Transition Master Plan to reduce emission. Director General of the Energy Commission of Nigeria, Dr. Mustafa Abdullahi, engages Saudi Arabia's Minister of Energy and Climate Change, Abdulaziz bin Salman, on the sideline of COP30 in Brazil, where both countries discuss how to accelerate implementation of clean energy while harnessing natural resources for sustainable growth that is focused on energy development for the benefit of its people while protecting the planet. At a separate engagement, the DG of the Energy Commission of Nigeria delivers a keynote address on the commitment of the federal government towards achieving smarter, energy-efficient cooling transition that is aligned with global climate goals. And trade unions across West Africa are renewing calls for stronger investments in social security systems and the creation of decent, sustainable jobs to boost productivity and reduce poverty in the sub-region. Joseph Otsen reports on a regional workshop convened by the Organization of Trade Unions of West Africa in partnership with the Danish Trade Union Development Agency.
Communities across West Africa continue to battle the effect of conflict, climate shocks, and other crises. Yet, with social protection coverage just about 15%, millions remain without basic support. Concerned by this slow pace of implementation, trade unions from across the sub-region are meeting in Abuja to share experiences and push for stronger financing.
And we believe that through the different measures and interventions that are provided as part of social services, cash payments, and many other targeted interventions targeting the most vulnerable people in our society, these are actually very important to address poverty and inequality. Social protection, when workers can access health care, and when they are ill, they are able to get help and get the necessary health support that they need, and then come back to do their work.
West Africa has the highest poverty rate. It has lowest coverage rate compared to other regions of Africa, with only about 9% of the population covered by some form of social protection. While we know that in other regions there is about 70% of coverage.
With climate change accelerating and economics shifting, the unions are also demanding a just transition from fossil fuel to cleaner energy, ensuring workers are protected and decent jobs are created. In Abuja, Joseph Otsen, NTA News.
The federal government has inaugurated the 6th chairman of the board of the Federal Roads Maintenance Agency, FEMA, Musa Babayo. Usman Zubairu reports that the Minister of State for Works, Bello Mohamed Goroyo, at the inauguration in Abuja, emphasized that the appointment was a strategic move to strengthen the nation's road maintenance framework.
The Federal Roads Maintenance Agency, FEMA, is responsible for the management of thousands of kilometers of roads across the 6 geopolitical zones of the country, and pilots delivery of this mandate with a clear roadmap. This inauguration of the new chairman of the board of the Federal Road Maintenance Agency, FEMA, is a strategic move to strengthen the nation's road maintenance framework. Minister of State for Works, Bello Mohamed Goroyo, said the appointment reflects the administration's unwavering commitment to safe, reliable, and durable road networks across Nigeria. He explained that under the Renewed Hope agenda, infrastructure is not merely about roads and bridges. It is also aimed at unlocking prosperity, poverty alleviation, and ensuring that every Nigerian has access to opportunities. He said with the chairman's track record on transparency, excellence, and national service, he has the capacity to lead FEMA into a new era of efficiency and performance.
The President has confidence in your abilities to work as a chairman of FEMA. The nation now looks to you to accelerate this confidence into tangible, verifiable results on ground.
The new chairman of the board of FEMA, Musa Babayo, expressed gratitude to the federal government for the privilege.
I want to assure you that this effort is appreciated, and I'll give you the kind of leadership that is required to move this agency to the next level.
He vowed that transparency and prudent management of resources have been guiding his state worship for 6.5 years as chairman of the Tertiary Education Trust Fund, TED Fund. Usman Zubairu, NTA News.
The Nigerian Navy says it is poised to improve safety protocols vital to ensure the security of maritime assets and personnel, given the persistent challenges of piracy and maritime insecurity in the nation's territorial waters. The Chief of the Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Idi Abbas, reiterated this at the fourth quarter route march held in Abuja. Defense correspondent Olajide Bello reports.
Recent statistics reveals that the Nigerian maritime industry has the potential to contribute over $44 billion annually to the nation's gross domestic product. Nigeria's maritime sector is strategically positioned to facilitate international trade and serve as a hub for regional and global shipping activities. With its expansive coastline, major ports, and increasing trade volumes, the country has the fundamental assets needed to emerge as a leading maritime economy in Africa. For the maritime custodians, more needs to be done to ensure these figures translate into reality, and for that to happen, the personnel must be of sound body, mind, and health. This route march, therefore, is part of the routine of the Nigerian Navy to ensure its personnel are always onward together.
Always remember that your physical fitness and your health is a determinant of our nation's defense.
The Nigerian Navy is projecting enhanced maritime security with a view to contributing its quota to the growth of the maritime sector as a way to achieve its full potentials. Olajide Bello, NTA News.
A new book exploring the identity and growing responsibilities of Nigeria's correctional officers has been presented to the public in Abuja, with the Minister of Interior noting that the service is no longer the overlooked arm of the security family. Victor Azu reports.
The unveiling of the quintessential correctional officer gathers officers, reform advocates, and those who have watched the service's transformation up close. For the Minister of Interior, represented here, the book captures a service shedding old stereotypes and stepping more firmly into the country's broader security mission. There is also an inward look. The Controller General says the book moves beyond job descriptions, inviting a deeper reflection on what the correctional service should stand for and the values it hopes to embody.
Gone are the days where we have officers that can stand in community, but now we have quintessential correctional officers.
It goes beyond describing the role of the correctional officer. This book probes deeper, questions assumptions, provides context, and ultimately elevates the very idea of correctional practice.
The reviewer, former spokesman Francis Anobore, sees in it a quiet insistence on staff welfare, not as complaints, but as the foundation on which any real reform must stand. And for co-author Abubakar Umar, it is a personal closure, a way to mark 35 years in uniform by lifting the profile of a role often ignored, yet central to the justice system.
While demanding more from the personnel, the authors did not fail to highlight the role of staff welfare as a motivator.
Who contribute a lot to national security through custodial measures and, public safety. But people don't know much about Nigeria Correctional Service officers, what they do behind the wall. So we need to put our experience into writing.
The quintessential correctional officer now enters public circulation, arriving at a time when the service is trying to define itself, not merely by the facilities it runs, but the people who keep them going. In Abuja, Victor Azu, NTA News.
And some hours to the official defection of the Taraba State Governor, Kefa Sabu, into the governing All Progressives Congress. Asiwaju again, Renewed Hope Initiative and APC Initiative for Good Governance have described the move as well thought out, considering the massive transformation under the Tinubu-led government. In a statement, the National Coordinator, Musa Mohammed, the APC under President Tinubu has changed the old orientation of leadership by prioritizing development, growing the economy, and infusing fresh ideas into governance that will put Nigeria in the right trajectory. The group's pledge to continue to rally round the government beyond 2027 and spread the words of true legacy projects embarked upon by the government across the 6 geopolitical zones and the FCT for progress and prosperity of the country. And as part of efforts to amplify women's voices, Mesbah Promotions is convening an event titled Women's Voices in Focus with the theme Hear Her Story, Women Voice Amplified. According to the convener, who is also an actress, Maimuna Yahya Abaji, the program will premiere a new film titled Traditions, which celebrates the strengths and resilience of women within cultural contexts.
Things that concerns mothers that we want to talk about, especially in the areas of unwanted pregnancies amongst teenage children. We have teenagers being raped, teenagers having children at a very young, tender age. They come with a lot of health hazards, a lot of isolation, a lot of stigmatization. And those are the things that we need to talk about. These things happen. So when they happen, how should you react to them? What should you do? How would you help the child come out of that state? We expect people to come and then lend their voices. We're not just addressing women or children alone or girl child alone. We are also addressing the men. They are the ones who get the children pregnant or the young teenage girls pregnant.
The event, slated for Sunday, 23rd November 2025, will be held at the Nigerian Army Conference Center, Suits, Nakas, Kilometer 10, Aya-Kubwa Expressway, Asakaro, Abuja. Experts are raising concerns about strengthening health security in Nigeria as family and primary care physicians from across Nigeria converge in Abuja to cross-fertilize innovative ideas and improving comprehensive and continuous care for individuals and families. Elizabeth Omori reports.
Healthcare, a basic human right. Family physicians believe it helps to maintain and improve public health through preventive care, disease treatment, and health promotion. It allows people to live longer and boosts productivity, strengthening our healthcare system that will contribute significantly to social cohesion, economic development, and environmental sustainability is the reason they are gathered to identify gaps in the health sector.
The continued commitment, resilience, and empathy we bring to healthcare delivery is a testament of the invaluable role of family physicians to healthcare delivery.
Physicians, we also need to come up with the idea of compassion is key when you do your practices.
Dr. Frank Odafin, in his paper, highlighted out-of-pocket payment, patient volume, decrease in resources to care for patients, and lack of access to essential medicines as factors impeding family health care.
Rising operational costs have placed practices under immense pressure, and some clinicians feel compelled to make decisions that challenge the delicate balance between affordability and sustainability. But financially smart medicine does not mean lowering standards, not at all.
Experts at the scientific meeting recommend upholding of ethics of the profession, financial intelligence, and political commitment of government to build a vibrant health system. Elizabeth Omori, NTA News.
The 10th year memorial prayer for the repels of former Governor of Kogi State, Prince Abubakar Odu, has commenced at his country home in Obonicha, Ofu local government area of Kogi State. The program, organized by the Kogi State government, is in collaboration with the family. Minister of Steel Development, Shaibu Abubakar Odu, is rallying the family at the event. Kogi State Governor Ahmed Osman Ododo is represented by his deputy, Joe Salifu Ibo, at the event. The former governor of Kogi State, late Prince Abubakar Odu, who was a political leader and APC chieftain, died shortly after the 2015 governorship election. And that concludes the News Desk at 3 on NTA News 24. Many thanks for your company. I am Mina Daniels.